Hello there. My name is Josue Diaz. I am a licensed architect in the state of California. In today's Archicona episode, you will see a small clip from a lecture that I had the privilege of presenting to the University of Little Rock, Arkansas. If you are interested in watching the full lecture, you can see it in my Patreon account. You can find the details to my Patreon account in the video description box. I hope you like it. I wanted to now talk to you about a different type of structure, because here, if you have a chipboard, somebody can stand on the floor here and screw it, no problem. Or somebody can stand on this floor here and screw the chipboard onto the studs, no problem. But what if you have a situation where, for example, let's go to the top floor here now. Now you see here on the top floor, we have a shaft, or right now it's just a pit, right? Because this is where our stairs are going to go. So our stairs are going to go all the way down and all the way up. So you have a hole on the floor. So if you want to build a wall here, it's easier said than done. You come in, you build it just like we mentioned we would. Somebody stands here, drills the chipboard, you're done. But who's going to stand here and drill the chipboard on this side? It's very difficult, and it's actually very dangerous. I don't know how you could probably put some bridging. I don't know. You can think of clever ways to do it, but someone came up with this very clever way of building what we call a shaft wall. And this is one of the biggest confusions I get when people come to me and they're like, what is a shaft wall? Like, I don't get it. What's the difference? How does it work? And sometimes even when I was teaching other people in my firm and I would tell them, okay, we need a shaft wall, they would be able to draw the details, but they wouldn't understand why we drew them or how it worked. So have in mind that the reason you build a shaft wall the way I'm about to explain to you, it's because you want to have people be safe. Again, somebody can stand here and drill the chipboard on this side, but you don't want somebody to risk their lives in the pit here where they could potentially fall to their death, right? You want them to be able to safely build a wall and provide the technology or materials and resources to do it in the best way possible. So I'm going to show you how this happens. First, again, you do a bottom track, but your bottom track is a little bit different. It's more like the J track. So it only has one flange. And you'll see that the back flange actually goes all the way out to where the edge of your wall would be. And you'll see why in a minute. Then you put a top track, which I think in order for us to understand that a little better, we have to put the roof back on. So now you have a bottom track. You have a top track, very similar to your bottom track again. So it has flange on one side, and that is it. And you'll see why in a minute again. And then you have a side flange, and you can't really see it very well, but it's the same thing. So you put a J flange on all three sides, actually all four sides. And then here's where the trick starts happening. Then you put a stud that we call a CH stud. This is actually very different from your regular studs because your studs normally look like a C. Let me zoom into the top of this stud here. So again, this is called the CH stud. And I want you to see the profile here. Oh, sorry, sometimes it's a little hard to get the right view here. But looking at this stud here, does anybody see why it's called a CH stud? Or sometimes it's also called a CT stud. Any idea why? Looking at the profile.
It looks like a C and an H at the top.
Exactly. It looks like a C and an H. The way that this is designed is very, very important. And I'm going to show you why. So yeah, here's the H for those that you may not see it. So here's the H part, right? And then this is like an upside down C. So there's a C right here. Or sometimes people call it a CT because, again, this could look like a T. You have the top flange and the middle flange that makes up a T, a capital T, and then your C right here. Now, here's the cool part about it. Rather than screwing jibboard at the very, very end, you build it in a certain manner where you build a shaft panel, CT stud, shaft panel, CT stud, or CH stud. So you start with your first shaft panel, or it's also called a shaft liner, and they only come in 24 inches width. So the first thing you do is you put your shaft liner and you butt it up against the flange. So you can kind of see why we do this, because now you can push the jibboard from the safe side. You're standing here and you place it in location. This prevents the jibboard from falling off, so it doesn't fall off on the side. And then here, man, this is a tall one. Oh, I turned off the top track, but the top track would also stop it from falling off. Let me see, can I turn on the, yeah. So your top track would be here, stopping it from falling off. Okay. And then after you put that liner in place, then you put the CH stud in place here. And you see what happens to the panel? The panel fits very nicely here between the H cavity. You do not have to screw this in. You just friction fit it. So in other words, if I was installing this, let me see if I can create somewhat of an animation with SketchUp. Sometimes it's a little tough. But this is what would end up happening. You get your stud and you bring it in place like this, boom, and it clicks, right? So you put it in, it clicks, and then you're done. So you don't have to worry about coming out here and screwing anything in place, because that little H flange is holding it together. So what that means then now is that, we go back to here. The next panel, the next CH stud. And you keep doing that. So you go panel, stud, panel, stud. And you do that until you're done with the wall. So this is partially done. You can see from this side, nobody has to come out here and try to drill anything in here because it's already fit in place. So no need to put any scaffolding or putting anybody on a rope or anything. It's all done. By the time you put the last shaft liner and the last stud, you're good to go. And in the end, you just put the jibboard on the face of the wall that you're working on. So I'm going to stop my presentation there for a second. Actually, you know what? This was just the last slide here. So then you're done with the wall. Obviously, because this is going to be a stair, you would do it all around, right? You would build a wall all around the stairwell. But that's the idea of a shaft wall. A shaft wall uses CH studs, and you build it, panel, stud, panel, stud. Unlike the other one that we saw earlier, where we do all the framing first, right? Here we do all the framing first, and then at the end, you put the jibboard. So it's a bit different construction, but you can understand why it's built that way. I hope you liked that small clip. If you're a student and having me come to your school for a lecture is something that you think you want, talk to your professors about it. And if you are a professor and you would like to invite me to come for a lecture, feel free to reach out to me for details. Before you go, please don't forget to like the video if in fact you liked it. And if you haven't already done so, please don't forget to subscribe. If you think anybody else would like any of the Archi Corner videos, please feel free to send them a link. But for now, this is it. This is Archi Corner signing out.